Today we will discuss parasympathomimetic system and the drugs. Now these drugs are also known as cholinergic drugs or cholinomimetic drugs. Now these are the drugs which produce the effect resembling those produced by stimulation of parasympathetic autonomic nervous system. Now this the neurotransmitter which is released at the parasympathetic nerve endings is acetylcholine. So, in short, we can say that the drugs which produce the effect similar to that of acetylcholine are cholinergic drugs or cholinomimetic drugs. And since this is acting via parasympathetic autonomic nervous system stimulation, the other name for cholinergic drugs is parasympathomimetics. Now there are two receptors on which acetylcholine acts. One is muscarinic receptors and the others are nicotinic receptors. The muscarinic receptors particularly act on smooth muscles and glands, and nicotinic receptors act on the skeletal muscle and the autonomic ganglia. So in the subsequent lectures we will be talking about the inhibitors which will be inhibiting the muscarinic and nicotinic actions. So the drugs which will produce the effect antagonizing muscarinic and nicotinic will be falling under the category of parasympatholytics and neuromuscular ganglion blockers. Let us first talk about how this acetylcholine synthesis, uptake, release and binding of the receptor, how it happens, and lastly the degradation it takes place. Now first let us see the synthesis. We can see choline plus Na in presence of acetyl-CoA giving acetylcholine. So here the choline is transported from extracellular fluid into the cytoplasm, and that along with the sodium ions gives acetylcholine, where the choline acetyl transferase is an enzyme that will catalyze the reaction, and finally it forms acetylcholine. So now this uptake of choline is a rate limiting step in the synthesis. After the synthesis, we can see that it is stored in the synaptic vesicles, that is presynaptic vesicles, by active transport process that requires ATP. Then we have the release of this neurotransmitter. Now how this happens: when action potential increased by the action of voltage sensitive sodium channel arrive at the nerve ending, voltage sensitive calcium channels open, so that increases your calcium concentration, and hence the elevated calcium will promote the fusion of this synaptic vesicle with the cell membrane, and it will cause the release of the content into the synaptic space. So now this is released, and then next step is binding to the receptor. Acetylcholine released from the synaptic vesicle will diffuse, and it will bind either of the two receptors, as I mentioned, the muscarinic or nicotinic receptors. Again you can see there are 5 types of muscarinic receptors: M1, M2, M3, M4, M5, and you have 2 types of nicotinic receptors, NN and M. Now this, once the binding of the acetylcholine with the receptor, it will elicit the biological response, like say initiation of the nerve impulse and or activation of the specific enzymes. Then comes the degradation. The signal at the postjunctional effector site is rapidly terminated because you have the enzyme acetylcholinesterase. This will break down acetylcholine into choline and acetate, and that choline can be recaptured by sodium coupled uptake system that will transport the molecule back to the neuron, where it is acetylated into acetylcholine. Now let us talk about these receptors quickly. Now muscarinic receptors we can see here M1, M2, M3, and we also have M4 and M5. You can see the location on the CNS M4, M5, while M1, M2, M3 they are acting on nerves, M2 on heart, nerve, smooth muscle respectively, M3 on the glands, smooth muscles. Now this muscarinic acetylcholine receptors, they are 7 transmembrane helix G protein coupled receptors and the nicotinic receptors. You can see read the name NM. So NM are the located in the skeletal muscle neuromuscular junction, and NN will be the post ganglionic cell body and the dendrites. We will talk about classification of cholinergic drugs. Now this there are two types of the cholinergic drugs: directly acting and indirectly acting anticholinesterase agents. Indirectly acting we have cholinesters like acetylcholine, methacholine, bethanechol, and the other one is natural alkaloids muscarine, pilocarpine, ericoline. In indirectly acting anticholinesterase agents we have irreversible and reversible anticholinesterase agents. Now why we are calling them as indirectly acting? Because the enzyme which breaks down acetylcholine is anticholinesterase, and if we inhibit this enzyme that will increase the concentration of acetylcholine. So in other words it will produce the effect to that of acetylcholine. So these are the agents which act by indirect mechanism. Now irreversible agents, as you can see, something like Begon or malathion, parathion, these are not used therapeutically in the human beings, or they are used as insecticides. So we have two types of them: organophosphorus compounds and carbamide. So you can remember something like Begon, which contains propoxure, or Sevin, that is containing carbaryl, and organophosphorus compounds like malathion and parathion. And in reversible anticholinesterase agents we have neostigmine, pyridostigmine, physostigmine, edrophonium. Some of these drugs are used for myasthenia gravis treatment. So basically we have two types: directly acting, indirectly acting. Indirectly acting you will have the cholinesters like acetylcholine, methacholine, bethanechol, and natural alkaloids you have muscarine, pilocarpine, ericoline. And indirectly acting anticholinesterases, the useful therapeutic effect ones are reversible anticholinesterase agents, neostigmine, pyridostigmine, physostigmine, and only these irreversible anticholinesterase agents we will remember they are the insecticides, or sometimes when they are in the agricultural practice the workers they ingest or inhale this, they will be having action on the skin and on respiratory system, and that cause kind of poisoning. So we have talked about these classifications. We'll first see what is action of acetylcholine and the mechanism of action of acetylcholine. So this is a neurotransmitter of parasympathetic as well as somatic nerves and autonomic ganglia. This is therapeutically of no importance because of multiplicity of action, and we have seen the enzyme cholinesterase, it rapidly inactivates acetylcholine. Now let us see the mechanism of action. It acts on both muscarinic and nicotinic receptors. So the mechanism of action depends, say for example, acetylcholine on M2 receptor present in the heart. Now here this muscarinic receptors, they bind to the G protein coupled receptors, so that inhibits the calcium ion influx regulated through adenyl cyclase pathway and decrease CAMP relaxant effect in the heart. So let us see, say first on the cardiovascular system, what is the pharmacological action of acetylcholine. So M2 receptor is present in the heart, and hence it will decrease atrioventricular conduction, and the effect is bradycardia. On the blood vessels, the effect is vasodilatation and lowering of blood pressure. So this is by indirect mechanism, because acetylcholine activates M3 receptors which are found on the endothelial cells lining the blood vessels. Acetylcholine injection induces the arteriolar vasodilatation by release of EDRF, that is endothelium derived relaxing factor, and then identified as nitric oxide. So this is how it produces vasodilatation. On the smooth muscle, you can say the effect on the smooth muscle is increase in the contraction. Intestine, we have increase in the tone. You can say sometimes peristaltic contractions increase. So nausea, vomiting can be the effect. On the ureter, there is increase in the tone of ureters. In bronchi, that bronchoconstriction, so it can cause asthma. And then we have on secretions, say acetylcholine increases all the secretions, say digestive, then saliva is abundant, bronchial, cutaneous, so sweat, lacrimal secretions are also increased. And we have eye. This is very important effect. Acetylcholine activates the sphincter muscle of iris and produces decrease of pupil diameter. We call this as meiosis, and that tends to lower the which will facilitate the flow of aqueous humor, and it will lower the intraocular pressure. So we can use this for treatment of glaucoma. Then central nervous system, it does not acetylcholine will not cross a blood-brain barrier. The uses of acetylcholine. This is used to obtain meiosis of iris in seconds after the delivery of lens in the cataract surgery, in penetrating keratoplasty, iridectomy, and other anterior segment surgery where rapid meiosis may be required. And this is generally not administered drug, but because it is rapidly broken down by cholinesterases, and the dosage in the brands will be Myocol E 10 mg of ophthalmic Myogan 20 mg per wire. Now next is the directly acting cholinergic drug. We have methacholine. This is a non-selective muscarinic receptor agonist that will stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system. It is highly active at all the muscarinic receptors, and it induces bronchoconstriction. This is mostly used for diagnosing bronchial hyperreactivity using the bronchial challenge test. The brand name is methacholine chloride 320, methacholine omega 100 mg. Then the next drug we have bethanechol. This is used in the preoperative, postoperative, postpartum or non-obstructive urine retention, neurogenic bladder atony, congenital megacolon, and gastroesophageal reflux. The side effects are bleaching, colic, urination, involuntary flushing, sweating, fall in BP. The dosage 10 to 50 mg orally. Then the next one is naturally occurring alkaloid, that is pilocarpine. Then this is a choline ester biotic, positively charged quaternary ammonium compound. Pilocarpine in the appropriate dosage can increase the secretion by exocrine glands. The sweat, salivary, lacrimal, gastric, intestinal glands may be stimulated. Mechanism of action: this is a cholinergic agent. It increases secretion by exocrine gland and produces contraction of the iris muscle and the ciliary muscle. Now the adverse effect: it may produce hypertension after a brief episode of hypotension. Bradycardia and tachycardia both have been reported with the use of pilocarpine. It produces sustained muscarinic action on the eye and produces meiosis. So as we have seen, the mechanism of action of acetylcholine, the pilocarpine is used for the treatment of glaucoma. Small dosage will cause fall in BP, and the higher dosage will cause rise in the blood pressure. Brand names: pilocarpine nitrate, Pilocar drops, Pilomax eye drops, Pilopress, Carpine, Pilligan, etc. Now we'll talk about anticholinesterase agents. We have reversible anticholinesterase agents. Now here, as we have seen in the beginning, acetylcholine is broken down by the enzyme acetylcholinesterase. So anticholinesterase drugs are the inhibitors of this enzyme, so they will act by inhibiting the enzyme acetylcholinesterase. This produces accumulation of acetylcholine at the cholinergic site. Now if we see the action on the eyes of reversible anticholinesterases, we will see that these produce miosis, spasm of accommodation, and decrease the intraocular tension. Now the physostigmine is a natural alkaloid in this category, which is seeds of Physostigma venenosum, and that will produce a muscarinic effect. Then the action of anticholinesterases on smooth muscles, bronchioles and ureters are contracted. Action on the smooth muscle. On skeletal muscle, these drugs can cause stimulation followed by depression. On secretion, they stimulate the secretion. The bronchial, gastric, parietal, lacrimal and salivary will be the secretions are increased, and GIT they increase the motility and the secretion of GIT. So if you see the uses of reversible anticholinesterases for the diagnosis and treatment of myasthenia gravis, for the treatment of curare and atropine poisoning, then in the treatment of postoperative ileus, and in reducing the intraocular tension, glaucoma, and for the treatment of supraventricular tachycardia. Then the next drug here in the same class is neostigmine, which inhibits the destruction of acetylcholine, or we can say it increases concentration of acetylcholine at the site that helps in transmission of impulses across the myoneural junction. You can see the structure here. This is available as a white crystalline powder, odorless and soluble in water. This is available as neostigmine bromide and neostigmine methyl sulfate. Indication: myasthenia gravis, bladder retention and postoperative ileus. We have the brands as neostigmine bromide, injection Nova, myostigmine, prostigmine 0.5 mg per ml. Contraindications: if there is hypersensitivity, then physostigmine is alkaloid obtained from the calabar bean, seeds of Physostigma venenosum. This is odorless, colorless crystals, becomes pink on exposure to light. Should be stored in the airtight containers, protected from light. The solution should be freshly prepared and should be kept stored in hermetically sealed containers. Mechanism of action: it increases acetylcholine at the cholinergic nerve end. The indication of physostigmine is to reverse the CNS effect of diazepam, anticholinergic and in Alzheimer's disease. Then we have lastly pyridostigmine. It resembles neostigmine. It has a longer duration of action. Less dose is required in the myasthenia gravis. The dose daily is 300 mg to 1.2 grams. Orally 60 mg tablet, 1 to 3 tablets thrice a day. Brands: we have Myastin, Destinone, Cravitor, Mustone, 30 mg, 60 mg tablets. Then we talk about irreversible anticholinesterase agents. In irreversible, we have malathion, parathion. Now here these are the organophosphorus compounds. They are powerful inhibitors of cholinesterases. They are highly toxic and they are long acting. Now these compounds can be absorbed through all the roots, including skin and the lungs, and basically they are used as agricultural insecticides. Now malathion is a parasympathomimetic organophosphate compound. It is used also for treatment of head lice, and this inhibits anticholinesterase, catalyzes and hydrolyzes the neurotransmitter acetylcholine into choline and acetic acid. We have the brands is malathion, 0.005 gram per 1 ml solution. Now what happens when there is a poisoning with these compounds? This occurs because of, say, the compounds when they are used in the agriculture as insecticide, as I had mentioned beginning during the classification. The person with occupation is spraying insecticide may have poisoning by inhaling, or skin contamination, sometimes agricultural accidental poisoning by eating the agricultural product which were sprayed with insecticide, and injection of the compounds with all intention having suicidal tendencies. The poisoning is common among the agriculture workers. Now if we have the treatment for poisoning: atropine sulfate. Atropine is given 2 mg IV every 10 to 15 minutes till dryness of mouth occurs, and keep the patient in the fresh air open place. Hospitalize the patient, maintain the blood pressure and controlling conversion of the diazepam, and maintain the respiration.